So you've decided to start a new GameMaker game and you want to track it on Git using SourceTree. Where do you go from here? Let me walk you through how I start a Git project using GameMaker Studio. And I'm going to start off the assumption that maybe you're going to find a tutorial you want to follow. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on the tutorial button on the home page when you first open GameMaker Studio. And there's the breakthrough. I'm going to do the breakthrough GML, and that's going to be the one I'm going to work on. So I'm going to work on this tutorial, and I'm going to track it using SourceTree. First thing you do is once you find the one you want, you click on the little download button, and that downloads it here. And you can see I've downloaded other tutorials. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to click on the play button, and it immediately wants to set up a folder. So good, I'm going to use that folder and I'm going to make sure I learn where I'm putting it. I look here, I see that it's under Documents, GameMaker Studio 2. So I'm just going to copy that address just to be safe, make sure I've got it. I can get to there pretty easily. I'm going to click Save. Now what this is going to do is it's going to open up GameMaker Studio. I've got access to the tutorial, both the video at the bottom and the written tutorial above. Those are good, handy tutorials to follow. And as you can see, I'm already in my project. I've got room 0 and some options and configurations and some things set up. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get this under SourceTree under version control. Now we're going to do it in a couple of phases. You're going to need to use git bash. You're going to need to use SourceTree if you're going to use SourceTree, and a browser. So first thing, I've got over here, I'm logged into Bitbucket, and I'm just going to go ahead, and the order in which I do this is not 100% crucial. Once I have the GameMaker project started, I can do this next, or I can use Git next. I'm going to start with Bitbucket, and I'm going to click plus over here, and I'm going to click repository so I can create a new repository. And this is called Breakthrough, so I'm going to call it Breakthrough. Now, I'm going to uncheck this box to make it public so that I want to encourage my students to make theirs public. Then they can share with me their repository, and I can see the work that they're doing. I'm going to leave everything else alone. I make sure it's not private, and I do not include a README. This is a very important step. Don't do that. Click Create Repository, and then just at this point, I'm going to wait and do nothing here. All right, even though they give me some commands and things to do. All right, so I get my Bitbucket account is ready, good to go. And what I want to do is I want to open up that folder I was talking about earlier. I'm going to paste the address to the GameMaker Studio folder, and I can see there's the Breakthrough GML tutorial. That's the folder I want to track. So this is the folder that's going to end up on my Bitbucket account. So I'm going to open this up. And you need to have Git installed. So if you don't have Git installed, get it installed. Get it? Okay. Then right-click below, and you should have this option of Git bash here. If you happen to have a Mac and you're working with a Mac, you can always go to the terminal. And from terminal, you can do all the Git commands you're going to see here. And so when you open it up, there are really 3 commands. I'm going to give you 4 in all because I want you to be familiar with one of them. And the first thing you always do on your project is type git init. This initializes or sets it up to be tracked through Git. And if I type git status, it's going to tell me the status of that folder. And I can see that I have not done any commits. I can see I'm on the branch called master, and now you can see there in blue it says master. And I have all this that's red. These are the folders and the files that have not been tracked. And right away it says use git add in the file to include what will be committed. Okay, so now I'm going to type git add dot, which adds everything. And now if I do the git status, you'll see everything is green, and I can see all the files that it's going to be tracked. And now I'm going to commit it. Git commit -m, and I'm going to just type first commit like so. I hit enter. And it gives me all this. That's not errors, that's just good. It just shows me all the files that got changed and how many lines of code were generated. That's 567 lines of code. I didn't actually do that, GameMaker did it. All right, at this point, if I type git status again, I'm going to do up arrow, it says on branch master, nothing to commit, working tree clean. We've got to get to this state. That's the next step. Now let me just cycle through the commands we did so you just can remember what I did. It was get init. I did a get status, get add dot. That staged everything and got it ready to commit. And then I did a get commit with my commit message. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and hit get status one more time. All right. So Git is ready. Everything's committed. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to SourceTree. Oh, wrong file. SourceTree. And I'm going to start tracking this new project that I created in the folder using GameMaker and using the Git bash. So I go back to SourceTree. I'm going to click on this little plus sign is to add a new project. And you'll see it says local repositories. That's what I want to do. So right now, it's not going to find it, so I have to click Add a Folder. And right here, it says Add a new bookmark or drag and drop repository folders into this area to begin. All right, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to the folder, and I need to go back a folder. I want to see the folder, which is the Breakthrough GML tutorial. That's what I want to drag over. So I just click it, drag it, and I let go. And right away, it pops up. So I'm going to just double-click on that. And here I am in SourceTree, but the remote is broken, right? Because I haven't set the remote yet. All right, it's really important that you do this step before you try any of these commands, because SourceTree can do the rest. Now, if you're not using SourceTree, you're just going to use these two commands and log in. But I recommend you do it through the SourceTree if you're going to use SourceTree. So what you do is you click remote, and it says you don't have any remotes which have the settings configured, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to click on settings, and I want to add. So I'm going to click on add, and it's really important here where it says remote account. You want to change that to your Bitbucket account. So there it is, Bitbucket. Now I need the remote name and the path. So the name is going to be what you see right there or right here. Right after that last slash, right before the .git. Whatever that is, you're just going to copy that. Oops, I didn't want to search it. I wanted to copy it. So right-click, copy. Control-C. Click on here, Control-V to paste, or right-click and paste. See that? Notice it says paste, Control-V. So I already did Control-V there. So now I need the path. That path is, I guess this is it right here. So I want to copy that. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste and I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to click OK. Now, notice remote is good. So all I need to do is push these commits. Right now, if I hit refresh, you're going to see the same thing. Nothing, right? So I go back here. I want to push what I have here. So I'm going to check the box that says master. I need to check that. So I'm pushing from my local master to the remote master branch, and I'm going to track it. So I click push. And I'm going to click no on here, SSH key failed. This might give me a problem. Yeah, I have to fix that. You shouldn't have that trouble at all. It's because I set up some SSH key. However, that being said, you might come across this error. You probably won't, but if you do, for the viewer out there that sees this and says, hey, I had that error, what did you do? Let me show you. First thing I did the first time was spend way too long looking up information and failing to just actually read what it says on here. It had a thing that talked about the SSH keys. Okay, so what I need to do here, if you have this, you should have this authentication agent down at the bottom of your windows. I'm going to click on that or double click it. And I need to add a key. So I need to find where I put the key for this tutorial. And so I have an SSH key and it like forgot what key I had. So I need to remind it where the key is. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you probably won't have this problem. You only have this problem if you've generated what's called an SSH key. Okay, so I forgot where I put it. So it's generated under Windows, the C drive, users, your username, and the .ssh file. We're looking for the private key, and I'm just going to pick the later of the two. I'm going to click open, and then I have to put in the passphrase, and then I think I'm good to go. So So let's see if that passphrase works. Looks like it does. We add the key. Oh wait, I don't have to add the key. I can close. So hopefully that works. I go back to my source tree. I close that. I'm going to try pushing it one more time. It should work now. Perfect. So yours should have worked without any issues at all. Now let's go ahead and go to the remote and hit refresh. And you can see at this point, you can see all your files, including the tutorial resources, the rooms, and your main file here. Great, you're ready to go, except for one last thing. I don't recommend you work directly on master. I recommend you create a branch for your development and call it dev or development, depending on if you like big words or abbreviated words. I like to just put dev, nice, quick, easy. I've got it. Now I want to push to dev even though I don't have anything on dev. Right now dev is exactly the same as master. But I'm just going to go ahead and push it so I have it there as well. And that's just for me. I like to keep everything neat. So if I've got a new branch, I want that on the online repository. From here on out, I can work just like I normally do on any other project. I'm good to go. I hope that helped you. Thanks for watching.